You click on those three dots and select rename. So show up how you want to show up in the areas where you show up. Additionally, if uh, captioning would help you have a more engaging experience, you can click on the CC button and the meeting is live captioned. It's pretty good. Is it 100%? No, but it's pretty good. So it helps you capture what has been said. And you can also turn on transcription. Additionally, we will be using the chat. So if you have a question, write your question preceded by the word question in chat. And you can do that. So it'll say, question, is pie an everyday food group? So the answer is, of course, yes. So you would write the question preceded by the word question in all caps to make it easier to capture. And lastly, we'll be using the raise hand feature, which you should find in your toolbar about right there. If you don't see it, check under more. When you're called upon, you can click on the raise hand. That'll put you to the top of the queue and you will stay in the order in which your hands were raised. So you never have to worry about, well, did Brenda see me first? It's automatically taken care of when you use the raise hand feature on the toolbar. Brenda.
Thank you, Christopher. He's such a gracious co-host, announcer. He did such a great job with that. So much appreciate you. I'm going to hold this up just to remind all of you that this event is being live streamed to YouTube and it is being recorded. And we are live now on YouTube. I'm going to drop the YouTube playback link into the chat in case you want to hang on to that for later, because we're going to be sharing lots of great tips with all of you. And there's a good chance you're going to want to watch it later. So if I were you, just open it up in another window and then you mute it and you can have that link accessible to you. The chat will also be downloadable. So if there's anything that you see that we're discussing inside chat that you want to remember, do know that you do have the ability to download it. So to download the chat, in the chat messaging area, you'll see three dots either at the top of your screen or at the bottom of your screen. Mine is showing at the top of the screen right now. It says RSVP 2025 office hours. And then when I click on the three dots, I see a menu and you can see save chat. It will save the chat at the point in time that the meeting that you've made that change. So if you want to get the full transcript from the full meeting, do it at the end of the meeting is my recommendation to all of you. My name is Brenda Muller and I am your host. And this is our monthly Friday this is actually self-employed VIP office hours. We used to do it for job seekers. So I got into that. My muscle memory was like saying job. I'm like, nope, not job seekers. We are self-employed. And I started this earlier this year for individuals who were considering the path to self-employment or maybe are already self-employed or like me, enthusiastically self-employed, which is a phrase that I created and I named a podcast by the same name to describe once you get this taste of being self-employed, you're enthusiastically self-employed. There's no amount of money somebody could offer you that says, come back to corporate. We want to have you come back to corporate, come back with us, come back to this side of the fence. You're like, no, thank you. I figured out how life works on this side of the world and no longer in corporate life, and I am enthusiastically self-employed. So I'm delighted to see all of you, and we're going to do some introductions here with our All-Stars in just a few minutes. If I could ask the All-Stars to do me a favor, use the raise hand function inside Zoom. So I know that you're ready to do your introduction. I'll probably pull you up in groups of two or three or four at a time. We'll see how that works out. And then I do want you to do like a 1 minute introduction of yourself. Let us know your name. What do you do? Who do you help? How can people get a hold of you if they'd like to learn more? And if you do have any additional links or resources, feel free to drop those into chat. That includes upcoming events, programs you're working on, offerings. You never know who you're going to meet in these meetings. So feel free to share that along. This is being live streamed to YouTube on my YouTube channel for Brenda Muller, Muller Marketing. And later it will be converted into my podcast. And my podcast, again, is called Enthusiastically Self-Employed. We'll do some introductions from our All-Stars, but also I'll invite a few of you who are joining us here today to do an introduction of yourself. So here's a cool thing. If you've never been on a podcast and you introduce yourself today, you'll be on a podcast and you can go tell all your family and friends, I was on a podcast, right? You don't have to tell them you weren't like the guest interview. You can just, let them come to that conclusion. But if you want to introduce yourself and you're new to the group here, what I want you to do is go into the chat and just type in the word new, N-E-W, and I'll call maybe two or three of you, and you can introduce yourself. Tell us your name, the name of your business. What do you do? Who do you help? How can people get a hold of you? And it's a great way of, just practicing this introduction and getting some more visibility for yourself. You never know who's going to be in the room here with you, who might be a potential future client or who could be a VIP referral source for you. So don't be shy about doing that. All right. You can also rename yourself. Christopher, did you talk about the renaming? I'm not sure if you did or not. You did? Okay.
I did.
I when I'm like getting my YouTube live stream, I'm like super focused. So I'm like my ear blinders went on because I had to like make sure the live stream was picking up. And I would encourage you, if you are using that function to rename yourself, I want you to look at mine as an example. Can you see it in the lower corner here? It says Brenda Meller, LinkedIn coach and trainer, Metro Detroit, she, her. So you can put a couple things in there. It doesn't have to be just your first and last name. You can kind of tell people the category of services that you provide, tease that a little bit. You can put the region of the world that you're located in, and either if you use different gender pronouns or to show your support of the LGBTQ community, you can use your preferred pronouns in there as well. So a couple fun things that you can do inside there. Throughout the call, I'll encourage you to use chat to communicate with each other. You can share things publicly or you can share things privately with fellow attendees or any of the co-hosts. And if you do have questions, we're going to move into some Q&A later on. We're going to use the raise hand function. I'll give you some reminders about that. All right, so we're going to start with our all-star introductions, and I'll give an example, and then I'm going to pull in the next person up on screen. So what will happen is as soon as I'm done, it'll go to Sue. And then as soon as Sue's done, it'll go to the next person. So we know that. So I'll start us off here. Good morning. My name is Brenda Meller. My business is Meller Marketing, and I help the self-employed executives and corporate teams to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I do that through one-to-one coaching, through digital courses, through my membership program, Marketing with Meller. And I am delighted to be here with all of you. I'll drop my information in chat if you'd like to learn more about my services. Sue.
Thanks, Brenda. I'm Sue Griffey, known as Sue Mentors in the virtual world. I actually have a global mentoring consultancy. I help people all over the world, mostly on professional presence, to tell a compelling story. And I come to this as an all-star because what I discovered several months ago is that people who are job seeking are unexpectedly self-employed, running a contract maybe, looking for other work to cover finances while they're waiting for employment, or maybe people who are also contemplating self-employment. So I'm happy to chat with people that fall in that area. I primarily work with people in a job transition of some kind. But just so you know, and those who are on here, we're doing this later this week. I've been talking about the fact that the way of the world for many companies is more and more some kind of solopreneurship, self-employment. So it could all be you. And I'll end with knowing, if you don't know me, I'm the mentor with pom-poms. Hint, I'll be talking about pom-poms as props in our just a week from now, 6 days. On to Diana. Thanks very much. I'll drop my info in the chat.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diana Stevens, and I am the founder of Mindful Job Alignment. And I'm delighted to be here on this Friday. I see a lot of familiar faces and I see some new faces. What I do is I work with people in transition who are either looking for another W-2 job or are considering entrepreneurship and moving into entrepreneurship. I work with individuals on all aspects of that with regards to marketing plan and networking, and also with mindful stress relief, taking everybody from anxiety and panic to calm and serene. So I work with you on that. I'm going to put my links into the chat. I actually wear a couple of hats. One is I have this business in private practice. I also work part-time for Lee Hecht Harrison Outplacement, where I am both a branding specialist, writing resumes every day and editing them, and also working as a career coach with candidates who are in transition. And one of the things that we do is also work with an entrepreneurial path that people might be interested in. So delighted to be here again today. And I'll put my information in the chat. The other new thing that I'm offering that I would appreciate referrals on is I am now starting an evening networking group for people in transition who are either looking for W-2 positions or actually looking to go into entrepreneurship, but they're just in a career transition right now. I will be starting that this Tuesday evening, August 5th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. I have event notices going out all over LinkedIn, but I will put the links into the chat with my biography on how to sign up for that event. So anyway, look forward to hearing what everybody has to say today, and happy Friday. Mindy.
Thanks, Diana. Hello, everyone. I am Mindy Stern, and I am so happy to be here with you today. People know me as the Career Accelerator, and that is because the clients that I work with all have the skills and the experience that they need to succeed. And that probably is you. You probably have the skills and experience you need. What you might be missing is a little clarity, a little structure, and a little confidence. And that's what I do to help people to get to the next level. And so if you are currently or have been an employee and would like to become an entrepreneur, and maybe you want to go from being that employee to being a consultant or doing any one of a number of different gig opportunities that so many people are doing now. I see this over and over with my clients who are job seeking, but also at the same time want to take that skills and experience to become a consultant. I provide the clarity. What are we looking for? The structure. What is the plan? What is the strategy? How are we going to get there? How do we effectively network to get to that next level? And then we build the confidence. What does interview prep look like? What does my bio look like? Is a bio different than a resume? All those are things that we look at when we're talking about moving into entrepreneurship. So what I'm offering to you guys today is I have a workshop that's coming up on August 12th. I will put the information into the chat. It is 100% free. It's just for learning to see if you are ready and able and ready to say yes to a new experience. And that's what I'm going to help you with on August 12th. I hope you'll all join us. I think you'll end the event with knowing a little bit more than you knew before. So thank you for being here today. You've already taken a first step, and I'm going to pass it over to Joey.
Thank you, Mindy. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. I'm Joey Himmelfarb. I am an author and a speaker. I help humans sell themselves in the job place. I've taken my experience as a salesperson, 25 plus years, and translated that to the job seeker and or the small business owner to help them sell themselves, because there's a right way to do it and a wrong way. I'm writing a second book as we speak, and I've also taken on a networking group that has been in existence for 20 plus years. So I'm learning how to run meetings now. I'm meeting wonderful people from around the country, soon around the world. And I'm bringing in speakers on a weekly basis to talk to unemployed professionals. But as it turns out, you don't have to be unemployed to be part of this group. There is a lot of information that's being shared by all these speakers. So I will put that information in the chat. We meet every Tuesday morning, and would love to have you come. If you can't make it, maybe introduce other people to the networking group as well, or maybe introduce me to speakers who you think would be willing to talk to unemployed professionals. Thanks again, Joey Himmelfarb. Chris, up to you.
Thank you very much. So I'm Christopher Johnson. The name of my company is Calm Clear Media, and I'm based in Metro Detroit, but I work on a global scale. I specialize in producing professional virtual events for nonprofits and member organizations like Feeding America and California WIC, and my approach is purpose first. So I design each event to achieve clear outcomes, not just fill time. Because a virtual event isn't just a Zoom call, it's an experience that should reflect the organization's mission, build community, and drive engagement. So whether it's a webinar, an annual meeting, or a conference, I ensure that the event runs smoothly. I'll put my information in the chat so that we can connect and make your next virtual event even better. Brenda.
Wonderful. Christopher, he's probably thinking, wait, I'm supposed to go? I went at the beginning, but you didn't do your intro. And I feel like with both of us, I forget to do my intro sometimes, which is silly. Gosh, why am I doing I'm a marketer. I should know better. I should know to do my intro, but I'm so focused as the host to make sure I'm facilitating, I'm getting the VIP introductions in place, I'm engaging with you. I'm like, I forget to talk about myself. And every once in a while, I'll get someone who will approach me through LinkedIn or email or text and say, I'm looking for some help on LinkedIn. Do you do LinkedIn coaching? And I was talking about this on a video recently because I'm like, that's literally what I do. I do LinkedIn coaching. Like people will approach me saying they don't know that I do one-to-one coaching. They're not really sure exactly what it is. I think it is. So I want to use this as an opportunity to remind all of you who are on the session with us today. We've got 15 folks in the room here today. If you've not already introduced yourself in chat, you're doing yourself and others on the call a disservice because we may not know exactly what it is that you do. So when you put that introduction, I'm reading Christopher's right now. Located in metropolitan Detroit, I produce virtual events for speakers, trainers, authors, and coaches. Think meetings, webinars, conferences. I am open to connecting. Go to my LinkedIn profile and click more to invite me to connect. When you put that introduction into the chat, it helps to, I don't want to say cement because I don't think we retain things in our brain quite as long as cement, right? I think it more imprints on us, right? And every time we hear an introduction from you, keep in mind it's not just you. We're hearing from 5 other people, 10 other people, 20 other people. What's memorable about your introduction, right? And sometimes when I even hear the All-Stars doing their introductions, they've modified that. I'm like, oh, that's a new direction for Mindy, or Sue's trying something different, or Diana's got to do that. Like you're breaking the script of what we remember you saying about yourself, and we'll remember, and that again, it forms that imprint for all of us on what it is that you do. So please do use the chat to introduce yourself. I am giving the opportunity for those of you who are joining the call here today to introduce yourself. And if you'd like to do so, you can just put in new, just like Nina did, and then I will pull you up on screen and you will get the opportunity to introduce yourself. So I'm going to pull Nina up here on screen. Nina, if you could please unmute yourself and tell us your name, what do you do, who do you help, and also how did you hear about the phone call today? Or the Zoom call, I should say.
So let's start with the last question. I saw a post on LinkedIn and I was really intrigued. So this is the first time and I'm already excited. And I am one of those consultants who started recently, just last year, but I'm at exactly at the point you described where I'm thinking I'm not going back to enterprise. So having started with the last question, let me introduce myself. I am Nina Hirota. I am a global HR leader with extensive experience with Fortune 500 organizations. I'm also an adjunct professor at New York University and an AI evangelist, particularly focused on leadership and HR. Last year, I co-founded my company in partnership with the former CIO of the Dutch Department of Defense, because driven by a shared conviction that the future of work demands new thinking. And I have since been working with HR leaders, executives to strengthen leadership, culture, change, cultural transformation, especially during such disruptive times. And that includes AI training and its strategic adoption. I would appreciate referrals for consulting engagements and my programs on AI, which I was just typing on the chat.
Wonderful. Yeah, please feel free to drop that into chat, Nina. And thank you so much. I love the phrase AI evangelist. Uh, and I was just I posted about this on LinkedIn this morning. I was reading a newsletter from Membership Geeks. I joined this newsletter when I launched my membership program last year, and I get helpful tips about running my membership. And they were talking today about the value of the human connection in an AI dominated world. One thing that's going to differentiate you is that human connection. So even for those people like you, Nina, who are teaching people AI, it's going to be the human connection that's going to differentiate you from others that are out there. So we're so glad that you heard about us. And yeah, I'll let you get back into the audience there and do share any links or resources that you'd like to share with us. Anything you're working on AI related. Everybody's always really hungry for those resources as well. When we do our introductions, I want to point out a couple things. I want to break this down a little bit for all of you. And this comes from both my corporate marketing background, my years of doing live streaming and hosting events like these, and now being a podcaster. I think I'm in my second year of podcasting. I realize that sometimes when people do their introductions, they wouldn't say their name. Have you noticed this? Like I'll be listening to a podcast and it's like Amy Porterfield or somebody, and she'll have a guest on and then she'll introduce the person and then they'll start talking. And then after they start talking about whatever it is, I'm like, ooh, this person's interesting. So I look them up on LinkedIn, but I can't figure out who they are because they didn't say their name. Or they said it so quickly. So then I'm going to show notes to try to figure out what is their name. So, what I'm trying to encourage people to do, even in sessions like these where we have Zoom and you can see the person's name, say your name. Hi, this is Sue Griffey, because we're going to hear you talking. You'll say, hi, this is Sue Griffey, and I'm the mentor with Pom Poms. And then you're like, oh, I remember her. And then what do? You go look for her in chat, you look for her name, and then you might like look her up on LinkedIn or whatever. But if she just said, hey, this is Sue, and there's like 2 or 3 Sues in on the meeting, right? I don't want to say like people are lazy, but it'll help you to remember. People are lazy. We're not going to like go through and figure out which Sue was she and the other one. It's just there's too much information that's out there. And if we create hurdles for people to reach out to us, they're not going to go over the hurdle. They're going to go around. They're going to go around the other entrance. They're going to find somebody else to connect with. They're going to go on to the next topic. So that's why I'm a big proponent of saying your first and last name in your introductions, even in a Zoom call, because it does help people as you're talking to look you up. Now, one technique I've trying recently, trying. Is that a phrase? It is a phrase now. You can say trying, just so you know, is I will start to say something and then I'll say my name. So, for example, for those of you who are speakers, if you've been on Innovation Women, when I do my introduction, I'm pulling back the curtain so you'll know that I do this now. When I do my introduction, the very first thing I say isn't my name. I say, good morning, speaker friends. I am one of those people who specializes in, or I'll say, I'm one of your speaker friends who specializes in LinkedIn. My name is Brenda Meller. Now, you see what I just did? I caught your attention with the topic, LinkedIn, and then I said my name. And it also gave your brain time to process what I just said before I said my name. Because if I said, hi, this is Brenda Meller, and I'm one of your speaker friends who specializes in LinkedIn, you might go, oh, I'm interested, but your brain wasn't paying attention at the beginning because you were tuning me out or whatever, right? So just some pro tips on introductions to get us started here on the call today. I'm also trying to buy some time to see if anyone else would like to drop the word new into chat and introduce yourself, because we do have a smaller group. I love when we have smaller groups because we have more time for introductions and we can welcome more of you who maybe haven't done an introduction yet to do so. So if you'd like to do an introduction, type in the word new, and you might have been on a call again. If you've been on before with us and you'd like to do an intro, put the word intro into the chat and I'll call on you and you'll get the chance to introduce yourself. Okay, so I am going to remove, I see another AI tool in here. We're going to take the AI tools out so we have human beings inside our calls here. And without any interest in the introductions, we're going to move into Q&A. So I'm going to type in the question. And since Christopher said pie, I'm going to change up my question here for today. I usually say question, do you like coffee? But question, do you like pie? Just to show you an example of what we would like your questions to look like. So question, the word question in all caps, and then type out your full question. Okay. The reason I like this format, question helps to kind of like, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to see when it's all caps when I'm scrolling through the chat. And then type out your full question, because of if we can't get to your question in our live audio video Q&A here, we'll be able to respond to you inside the chat. Okay. This is self-employed VIP office hours who are in here today. And I want you to think about this, but almost be like if we were in the workplace together. I'm sitting at a table with my good friend Mindy, and I've got my cup of coffee, and Joey comes in and he sits down, he's got his coffee or tea or whatever, and Diana's with us, and Sue comes by and she knocks on the door and she's like, hey guys, do you mind if I come in? I have a question. And we're like, yeah, come on in. It's office hours. This is your time. So if you have any questions, we'd like to hear from you today. And it might be a challenge that you're struggling with for your business. It might be something you're working on. You need some help from a marketing perspective or different, perspectives from others. Maybe it's something you'd like to celebrate and you're like, how do I do this without looking like I'm patting myself on the back or whatever. So this is your time to use however you'd like for the meeting. And I see Sue has a question. So Sue, she's like, question, but not urgent. This is all of our time. If nobody asks questions, I'll go into a topic and we'll do like a roundtable discussion about it. But Sue, what's your question?
Well, first I thought I would just wait and maybe DM Christopher about it, but I have been in meetings that I don't host the last couple of days, and I've noticed that every meeting chat is coming up without the option to private message. I wanted to greet someone this morning and I didn't want to detract from the chat box. So I noticed yours is set the same way, and I'm just wondering, because it is a self-employment thing. If you run webinars, you need to know what the user experience is. So Christopher, you know me, it could be just me, didn't realize they changed something, but I'd love to know if anybody else has been seeing that.
I love the question. Zoom always updates features and they roll them out without much fanfare or notification. You can still direct message people. How you can do that is clicking on that person. So if somebody writes something in the chat, click on that person's avatar, and then you can write them a message. And what that does is create another window at the top of your chat saying, hey, here's everyone, and here's your private message to this individual, and here's your private message to these 3 individuals. So you have it broken up in the chat window by who you're talking to.
Christopher, could I ask you for a favor? Could you
Absolutely.
do that again? Could you give us the instructions again? And I want everyone who's on the call, there's 15 of us. I want everyone who's on the call right now to test this out. So pick anyone because we're just trying to test message because this is a newer feature and it can be a little confusing. So pick someone and then Christopher, can you give us those instructions again?
Absolutely. So this latest feature by Zoom is trying to help you organize the chat. So when you have a message you send to one person, you can find that one person and send them a private message by clicking on their name in the chat if they've sent something before, or looking at the participant and then sending them a message. So when you click on them, type a message, a welcome, hi, hello. Now, at the top of the chat window, you'll see the message to everyone, the message to that individual. And now you can go back and forth between conversing with an individual and the group chat. Now, you can also do this with more than one person. So if you want to have a small group conversation between presenters, hey, we're about to go into this panel. I want to make sure that you know you're covering this and I'm covering that. That can be a small group chat within the larger chat window.
How do you do that? Oh, add members. This
There
is
you
new.
go.
Oh,
So you can have a small group chat with that panel before the panel starts. Are you ready? Okay, great. We're all going to have. Wait, do we all have the right color pom poms? No. Okay, let me go get the right color because I want to be color coordinated. Does that answer the question? Does that provide some insight? I'm
I just
seeing
learned
messages
something new
popping up.
too. I thought that was really great. Thank you for doing that.
I don't know if you helped or hurt, Chris. Just I can barely
I'm
walk and
only
talk
the
at the same
messenger.
time.
I'm only the messenger. They didn't ask me about designing this feature.
I
I
just
just help people use it.
I got to take a
If,
nap already.
if,
We haven't even finished. I'm like, there's so much to do and know and keep track of, and oh my
can I,
God.
if I can interject real quick. So a
Sure.
lot of times what I will do is I'll find another person who has, who is Zooming or whatever, and we'll set up like a half hour and we'll click on everything. What happens if we click on this? What happens if we click on this? And what happens? Click. You can't do it during a meeting, obviously, because, people will be like, where did he go and why does he have a cow head? But other than that, just playing with it, I find that that's how I learn the best. It's just playing with it. But you need to kind of set it up with somebody. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
You just made me think of something else too, Rick, which is when I go into a group meeting that I'm not hosting, for example, Innovation Women, and those calls can be 50, 60, 80 people sometimes in there. We'll have conversations, side threads, and sometimes private conversations and things like that. I'll download the chat, and then at the end of the meeting, I'll download the chat, and then I'll search for my name, because then anybody who sends me a direct message, I can see it from the chat. Now, what I don't know for certain, and I don't know if you know this, Christopher, if I download the full group chat, are the private messages sent to me captured in that as well? I think they are. He's nodding his
They
head,
are,
yes.
yes.
Okay, that's good to know. See, look at that. We're getting a little tutorial, a little mini master class on Zoom and Zoom chat and navigation and things like that in the session here today. All right, any other thoughts on that before we're going to kind of pivot the conversation, I think? Thank you, Sue, for starting us off on that for her today. Okay, I'll open up the floor one last time. Any other questions, things that you're working on right now? Okay, Ivan, he's got a survey question. Are you able to come on video, Ivan, or not? I don't think I see you on here. I'll give him a second to respond here. Show of hands, how many do their own taxes versus hiring a CPA doing their taxes? So now I don't think inside Zoom meeting can we do a poll? We can do a poll.
There are lots of ways to, so this would be an example of a simple question.
Yeah.
And you get that answer by having people click on the yes or no under reactions. So
Okay.
you do your own taxes, you can click on reactions and click the green check mark. If you hire someone, you can click on reactions and check the red X. And so now we'll have a quick tally. And this is a really good way to do a simple, quick and easy poll where the answer is a simple yes or no. And one of the beautiful things about this, the host and the co-host, they have instant access to see how everyone answered the question. So they can say, oh, well, it looks like we're in a group where it's about an even split. Half the group does their own taxes and half the group outsources it to a CPA.
Okay.
And if you're on one of the latest versions of Zoom, you can make a live poll question on the fly and have people answer it in real time.
So I just opened up a poll, and the good thing about the poll is I think this is a good thing, especially for a question like these where you might not want other people on the call to know what your response is. Because if you go in chat and say, I do my own taxes, or I work with a CPA, if you say, I do my own taxes, if there's someone else on the call who is a CPA looking for business, you might feel like they're going to do prospecting with you. They're going to reach out to you and try to sell to you, right? That's my spidey senses picking up on that. Versus if you do it in a poll, and right now I'm not sharing I could share the poll responses, but you would only see it in aggregate, right? You're going to see like how many people and the percentage of people who responded, but you're not going to see specifically who responded. The only person who's going to be able to see that is me. If I were to go back into my Zoom reports afterwards, export, and I can see who responded in which way. And related to that, I did a survey using a Google poll through my email the other day. For those of you who are on my VIP email list, hopefully you participated in that. If you didn't get a chance, I'm going to drop this into the chat right now. And actually, I'm going to take us on a little tour of what I'm doing for this because I think it might be helpful for some of you. So it started with my friend Brenda Cadman has she does all about Canva resources and things like that. So she recently did a survey of her audience and said, hey, what version of Canva are you using? Are you using the free version or the pro version? And I think there's only two versions. Maybe there's more, but that's what I remember her saying in there. So I responded back to her and I was like, God, this is a really clever idea. I've never thought about polling my VIP email subscribers to ask them, what type of LinkedIn membership are you using? So I did this. I'm going to share my screen to show you all this because I think it might be informative, like a little mini marketing lesson for you, if you will. I'm going to share my screen here. Again, I will fill the time. If there's no questions, I'll fill the time for stuff on here. So I'm going to end this poll right now up on screen so I can close that down. All right, so this is the email. If you're on my email list, you should see it. It has a bar graph. What is your membership type? I'll drop that into chat if you want to search for it in your email, and then you'll be able to participate in the survey. So I created this as a Google survey, and I just created a simple pie graph just as a visual because this helps to capture people's attentions. This isn't really the poll results. But when you click on, I need to open this in an incognito window because I already did the survey myself and it won't let me see it again. But when you click on this, it takes you to this page in Google. I don't think it's even going to let me proceed. No, because I have it set up with a sign in so it associates you and you can only take it once. But I think you can kind of see in the background, it says, please select your current LinkedIn membership type. I'll be creating a pie chart to share in a future LinkedIn post. And inside here, I record your email and then I give you all the choices. Basic, which is the free version of LinkedIn. There's premium career, premium business, etc., etc. Let me click on it and it'll take you to the page where I think I can see the results. So the top I asked for, oh, I can edit response. The top I asked for your LinkedIn membership type. I am using premium career, by the way. I am a LinkedIn coach. I'm independently employed. I have no desire to go and find a job. And I have used premium career, premium business, sales navigator, core. Learning used to be a part of some of the other modules, but you can buy it as its own now. So I've used a majority of these with the exception of recruiter. And I've paid the range of prices that you pay for these things. I've done annual to save money. I've done monthly, and I've landed on premium career monthly. I might do it annual at some point, but $40 a month, it gets me everything that I need. As somebody who is self-employed and somebody who is thrifty, I'm always trying to align my revenue with my expenses. I make adjustments when I need to, when I have softer months, right? $40 a month works for me. I don't think I need to pay for premium business, and this is what I do for a living. So that was the first question. Second question, this was just for fun. What's your favorite kind of pie? And I was like, well, how am I going to list all of these? And I did some quick research on the internet, and they're like categorically fruit pie, cream. I didn't even know there was different categories like fruit pie, there's cream pies, there's custard pies, there's savory pies, there's meringue pies, there's nut pies. And then I had to give the option I don't like pie. And is cheesecake pie? If so, cheesecake on there. So that was the poll that I did. And let me just share with you the results of that. It's going to take me a second. Let me stop my screen share. While I'm doing that, I see that Elena, you have your hand raised. Did you have a question or something to add to the conversation or something different? You're muted right now, Elena. So there you go.
Comment on um, career premium. That's also what I'm using on LinkedIn. And yesterday I did some research. Apparently, career premium does not give you unlimited people search.
So are you doing a lot of searches?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're doing a lot of searches, you'll probably will want to do premium business. Now, can you tell us, Elena, what do you do? Who do you help? Are you working with job seekers or who is it that are you serving on LinkedIn?
I'm serving not on LinkedIn. I'm serving knitters. I'm creating new designs for knitting.
So the people that you're searching for, are you inviting them to connect?
Okay, let's separate. What people that I'm helping people who are knitters, and
Okay.
so apparently there is a market for new design or instructions how to make things.
Okay.
This is one thing. Unfortunately, my personality is split at the moment. I'm also very heavily involved in AI. I'm learning new things, and also my old persona, which is project management and corporate world, is still very active. So my LinkedIn is limited to AI and looking for possible contracts on project management.
Okay, so when you're searching for people, and because it sounds like you're reaching the search limit, are you inviting them to connect?
Yes, I'm inviting them to connect. I generally connect after meetings. I generally connect after talking to people.
Okay.
So when I'm doing search for people who may be hiring managers, for example.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm not reaching those. I know that I'm not reaching them because I did a comparison from me searching and my friend searching, and they got it and I didn't.
Okay, so
same search.
I guess I'm going back to your question. Yeah, premium career does limit the number of searches that you do. Premium career is about $40 per month. Premium business, I believe, is $70 or $80 per month now.
70.
So
Brenda, no, it does not limit the number of searches.
premium business, you get unlimited searches. So you just have to think about, is it worth the additional $40 a month to give you that ability? And are you connecting with those people?
No, that's incorrect statement. Career, it's just not correct statement. I'm sorry. There is no limit to number of searches ever in any of them. In fact, in basic, there is no limit to number of searches. What career premium limits is number of people you access within your search.
Okay. Yes.
There is a significant difference in that.
Okay. Did we answer your question, Elena?
Oh, I didn't have a question. I wanted just to point the difference between career premium and business premium.
Okay. Yep. There's definitely, and you can also, there's also on the LinkedIn site, you can do a side-by-side comparison of features that you can get with premium career and premium business. I guess my goal was in explaining why I use premium career in for all of you. I don't like to see people wasting money and paying for higher level solutions on LinkedIn if there's not the ROI that goes along with it. And that's where I was trying to get with Elena's question is, if we're doing all these searches on LinkedIn, are you inviting people to connect? Are they accepting? Is this leading to business? Then it might be worth premium business. And at that point, if you're doing a lot of prospecting with B2B on LinkedIn, it might even be worth at some point upgrading to Sales Navigator. My approach when advising clients on which premium solution is right for you is based on, how are you using the current features that you get with those levels of membership. And I usually only recommend that you upgrade when it makes business sense to do so. Now, if you want to throw money at LinkedIn, throw money at LinkedIn, but I don't like to see people paying for premium because it sounds like a better version of LinkedIn. I'd rather have you pay for premium and know what features that you're getting out of it. But going back to, I did find the poll. So I have this set up in a Google poll where it automatically creates it in Google Sheets. And you can see that if I scroll up here, the data points are all dropping into a Google Sheet. And then I created a pie graph with the results. So I'll format the pie graphs because I want to use my brand colors in here before I publish this on LinkedIn. But the first pie graph is your current LinkedIn membership type. And you can see roughly half of my respondents so far are using the basic free version of LinkedIn, followed by premium career and then premium business. And there's some small subsets that are using Sales Navigator, etc. Now on the pie side, let's have some fun here for a second. The pie side of things, fruit pie was the favorite type of pie for people. I did see in chat, someone asked, was it key lime pie? I don't know that would be a meringue pie. I feel like that might be a custard pie. I don't know that I've ever made a key lime pie, so maybe there's someone who's on our session with us today who knows. Do you add eggs into a key lime pie when you're baking it? If so, I think it's a custard pie. If not, I don't know. Key lime doesn't have the meringue on the top, which is like the egg whites, does it? I might be mistaken on there again. I'm not a baker. I just happen to love pie on here. But at any rate, a fun thing to do. And what I like about this technique of polling your audience, doing a Google poll, is it creates some easy engagement, for them to keep engaged with me as they're reading my emails. But for me, I can now think about when I'm publishing new email newsletters to my VIP subscribers. If I'm talking about a specific LinkedIn feature, I might say, who can use this? Premium career, premium business, like you have to have premium for this. Or I can see if, since a majority of my audience is using the basic free version of LinkedIn, I might, focus more on topics about the basic free version of LinkedIn, for example. So think about how you could use this technique for yourself. I like Google Polls. You could also use, there's a variety of different Survey Monkey tools and different survey providers and things like that that are out there. And there's even inside Canva a way that you can import data sets and create charts and stuff too. So a couple different routes to take there, but I kind of like this for myself because I'm focusing on my audience, understanding which level of LinkedIn membership they have. And then I also created a fun poll about pie because it's part of my personal brand too. Now, when I publish this on LinkedIn, I'm going to share both graphics, the LinkedIn membership type and the type of pie, and I'm sure we'll get some nice engagement on there. So that's a little bit of a tutorial on the email that I did for this week, and maybe that inspires you. All right, Rick, I see you have a question. Do any of the current new business owners have a book they can recommend that help them organize when opening a new business? It would help to have a guide to keep things focused. So, anyone on the call here today, All Stars or others, any book recommendations that can help you to get organized and keep organized when opening a business? I'm going to give mine right off the bat, Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. If you are not an accounting or a finance person, highly recommend it, because if you don't have a way of your money being managed for your business, your money's going to flow and you're going to not make it to that 5-year mark. So I like Profit First. It's kind of like an envelope system. Every dollar that comes in has a place that it goes and it has a job to do. Remember earlier when I talked about I'm always trying to align my income, my expenses. When my income is not as high, I have to reduce my expenses. So it helps you with that methodology. So organized financially is what I'm thinking there, Rick. I don't know if that was necessarily your question, but that's one angle to take. Joey, I see that your hand is raised. Did you want to add something there?
I did. I want to also add another book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. If you're starting a new business, whether you're starting a new business or not, or if you're starting a new business, I know you probably like your mind is like racing and there's so many things you want to get done and do and accomplish or whatever. But if you start rambling and flailing about in the wind without having a goal in mind or a place to a destination, if you will, reading a book like Deep Work will help you stay focused and almost laser beam focused. And the point of his book is that at the beginning of your day or wherever you find time to do something that has to do with your work, that's what you should be focusing on. Everything else just takes a backseat to what you're working on. Because if you don't, then you're flailing about. At the end of the day, you're exhausted. You've done a lot of things, but you've done nothing to get you towards your goal of starting your business and getting you ramped up. Profit First is a great book as well. It's a different take on running a business, if you will, but you got to be focused. You got to set those goals, and then you got to do the work. Right? It's not enough to say, I'm going to make $1 million this week. Yeah, we all want to do that, but saying that and not doing anything about it, you might as well just talk to the wall. So, Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, and feel free to drop if you have a link for that in chat, or if somebody's looking it up on Amazon or wherever you purchase your books, drop it inside the chat there. Joey, it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you for the past couple months, but you were on a live stream recently. Who was it? Was it with Jeff Young, or who was it with? I saw you on someone's
I had
live
Jeff
stream.
Young on with me. You came on briefly, but then I was on last week with you. It's funny you should say that. The woman who was talking about writing a book, I forgot her name. She's on my list of people to call. I forgot who she is already. Whatever. She's on my list. I got to call her. Yeah. Writing my second book. It's taking much longer than I'd hoped, but because I'm unemployed, because I'm retired and I'm in no pressure and I'm in no stress, and it's like, I'll get it when I get done. But
get to it when you get to it.
Oh yeah, whatever. Tomorrow's another day, right? Well, but I gotta start focusing on that book more, because now that I'm talking to a lot more people who are unemployed, I'm getting a lot more material and anecdotes for the content of the book, and it's just something that's near and dear to my heart. That's why I'm on these calls, Brenda, because I want to help. Again, I know everybody here is looking to be self-employed, and I think that's great. But my contention is that we sell every day, whether you're looking for work or not, whether you're looking to acquire clients or not. You've got to sell yourself, and there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And I wanted to mention your poll, Brenda, about these pies and staying engaged with the audience. I'm looking at that, and I saw Nina had a question in the chat about promoting her services, right? Since she's quote unquote new to the world of entrepreneurship, without sounding boasting and bragging and thinking self-serving, creating a poll like this for your audience and asking them, so what is it about AI that you're most interested in, right? Because what happens is, now, Brenda, you're in marketing, I'm not, but we know this from the world of marketing. So many people build something that they think the world needs, and then they build it and nobody buys it because they didn't do the research up front to realize this is something I think everybody needs, but nobody else does. So a poll like you created that Nina, you could create for the people who are thinking about AI and where it works and what it does and how could I use it, how should I avoid it. That's a great way to start engaging with people, showing them that you're an expert in AI without saying, come buy from me, right? At least you can grab some emails, you can grab some phone numbers, you can grab some attention, I'm sure, right? And between you and your co-founder, between the two of you, I mean, you think about the networks that you two have, I mean, the world is your oyster.
Ooh, I just got a weird buzzing sound. Was that my computer? I'm not sure what happened there, but oh, good. Thank you, Joey. And by the way, thank you to Sue also. She said, hey, Nina's got a question in chat. And I think we did Ivan's question, and then we kind of jumped around a little bit. So let's come back to Nina's question right now and see if we can help her out with this. Mindy, did you want to add something on to the previous topic before we do that? I just noticed your hand was raised.
No, I want to respond to Nina's question because it's a
Okay,
great
so
one.
let me read
Fabulous
this
one.
out loud. So again, this is for our podcast listeners because they can't see the chat here. Nina's question is, what's the most effective way you found to promote your services, including LinkedIn, without sounding transactional or self-promotional? I'm looking to share my work more consistently while staying authentic and adding value. So the floor is open if you'd like to respond to the question. Anyone can raise their hand here. We'll start with Mindy. What do you think, Mindy?
So where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. So Nina, great question, but I want to shift your mindset a little bit. We never are selling. Joey says we're always
Good
selling.
point.
What I focus on is educating. Okay. So posting on LinkedIn and commenting meaningfully on LinkedIn is your best friend. And when you become credible, when people start believing that you know what you're talking about after multiple posts about whatever topic you want to talk about, that's when you're going to start grabbing an audience. Okay. So think about what topic you want to talk about, and maybe it's AI or some other topic. Make sure that whatever you post is interesting, right? And relevant, and starts hitting certain key information pieces that other people are going to want to learn from you. I also suggest that you start figuring out a timing. So if you say, I don't know, you're going to post twice a week, let's say. Be consistent. So I like to post Mondays at 8 a.m. I know plenty of people who post Mondays at 7 a.m. And I know because I want to read their content, I'm going to go there at 7 a.m. because I know they're going to be there. So be consistent in your posting and comment at least 10 times more than you post. The gold is in the comments. Brenda and I met each other in the comments. Start having a dialogue with the people. And I just put a post out, I think it's this week, you can go and check it out, of like 7 or 8 tips for how to gain visibility on LinkedIn. The beauty is in the comments. Spend your time there. If you're concerned about posting, you're shy, whatever it might be, you're not ready, spend your time in the comments. It's a beautiful thing. And start building up that community. I like to call them my tribe. The people who interact with me all the time, that's who I'm posting for. And you build up your credibility. People get to know you, and they start connecting your name. Oh, Nina, oh, I believe what she's saying because she said over and over again. And then you can get to sell. First, you have to create credibility. Does that make sense?
Love that. Yeah, love that. Thank you, Mindy.
Educate first.
Yeah,
Right,
thank you, Joey.
Sandra, did you want to add something to that too?
Yes, I do, because Nina and I are similarly, we have a similar approach to our new business. And I have a business development, sales, and marketing background. And I also learn from observing other people. And without sounding overly promotional or what Nina mentioned, transactional, is that I've noticed in others' presentations that the majority of their presentation consists of a little bit of teaching, and then half of it is promotion of their services. And I tune out. So what I suggest in a presentation is to do the teaching, first of all, introduce yourself, what it is that you do, your areas of specialty, and it's similar to a job interview, whereby you'll receive the question, tell me about yourself, being clear, concise in a 30-second, 45-second soundbite. Then we're speaking about a presentation, then go into your presentation, then at the end, just a quick synopsis, just a bullet point list of what it is that you do, who you help, and how to connect. And that's it. But the majority of your presentation should be a teaching educational segment with the front end and back end as bookends to what it is that you do. And then Sue mentioned about the LinkedIn, and it is being consistent and having, you can schedule your posts. So instead of being reactional in your LinkedIn posting, have a plan, schedule your posts, develop your post, and you can schedule it same day, same time. And then what I've also discovered is that when I have a post, my notifications doesn't send me all the notifications when somebody comments on my post. So I have to go back to my original post within my, excuse me, just pardon me for a moment. I go back to my original post in my profile, and then I can see the entire stream of comments and then comment, because there's a disconnect between the notifications on my post. So that is one tip that I've discovered, to go back and comment on other people, respond to other people's comments on a timely basis. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
All right. Is this helpful so far for you, Nina?
Yeah, I love all of the comments. I would say I've been practicing the majority, especially commenting, but I'm not disciplined about a consistent time to post. So that's very helpful. Appreciate all of your comments and willingness to help.
And I'll add one last thing onto that, Nina, is, beyond like for my area of specialty is LinkedIn, beyond like posting about your services, which might feel salesy. And I always kind of say there's an 80-20 rule, 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. When I think of, I use the 80-20, but I call it 20-80 when it comes to LinkedIn posts. So 20% of the time you should be selling, 80% of the time you should be giving your audience value, informing, educating, inspiring, engaging, sometimes even entertaining, just to keep them reading. So that way, when you do have the occasional sales post, they pay attention. And the other selling occurs through your profile. Feel free to look at mine as an example. When you go through my profile, I make it as easy as possible for you to understand what are the key services that I offer. How can you do business with me? Multiple calls to action will be included in there. And I try to make it a really easy jumping off point to go back to places where you can do business with me. I think that's really key on LinkedIn. Make your profile like a landing page for you and for your services. I think that can help you out a lot. All right.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank
You,
you.
Nina. Okay, I am going to create, I mentioned this in the chat, but I'm going to create a Goodreads list for all the books that were mentioned today. Since Rick had asked the question, resources for getting organized, and we started talking about that, I'm going to create that Goodreads list and I'll share that in a future month on here. But the time is now 11 a.m. So I want to make sure we start to wrap up our conversation here today. Did I miss any questions inside the chat? I think I got through all of them. Others are helping me out here. So if I missed anything, unmute yourself. Let me know if I missed you, but I think I got everything inside here. So I do want to thank all the All-Stars for helping to facilitate in the background today. Christopher, as always, I so appreciate you being on these calls so you can help me as I'm getting the live stream started. And for the others, Diana, Joey, Sue, Mindy, Christopher, thank you so much for making this a part of your month. It is a labor of love, so to speak, creating these calls and putting it all together. So I so do appreciate your interaction and coming on here. And with that said, I'm going to stop the live stream and we'll stop the recording. If you'd like to stand for a few minutes so you can gather the chat, download that, etc., you're more than welcome. I'll keep it open for about 5 minutes and then I'll be closing us off. Do remind all of you that we will be meeting once a month through the end of 2025. This is our first Friday. So just remember, on the first Friday every month, it's the same time. If I were you, just block it out on your calendar. And it's the same link, the same Zoom that we'll be using for every event from now through the end of the year. First Friday of the month. My time is 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time. So whatever time zone you're in, just put a block on your calendar for that. The add event should automatically add it if you follow the instructions through. But I have noticed sometimes that add event will add it to your calendar, but it'll show it as free. I don't know if you've noticed that. So when that happens, I'm using Google Calendar. I open the event, I right click, and I'll say copy to Brenda Meller because it's a part of a add event feature, but my Google Calendar isn't reading. When I copy it to the Brenda Meller calendar, then it's showing it as busy. I'm not super tech savvy, but maybe that makes sense to people what I'm doing. But just block off your calendar so that it is available. With that said, thank you so much for joining. This is Brenda Meller with the Self-Employed VIP Office Hours for August 1st. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again next month. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Hasta la vista, baby. Ciao. Arrivederci. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios.